Hi guys, and welcome to Steinway London. Okay, so I thought whilst in London, why not, right? I've got a recital in about 4 weeks, so I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to bring some music down, play on a nice piano, and decide what my programme's going to be. So the programme that I've got to do is about 40 minutes long, something like that. And in the other half of the concert, I'm accompanying a vocalist. So I've got to put together 40 minutes of solo music. But what I like to do is try and give myself something that I've done before that creates the bulk of the programme so that I don't have too much new material to learn. So it very much becomes about balancing my time, both just life in general, and although it's half term now, the fact that I don't have a piano at home currently, so the only way to practice would be to go into school or to get my stage piano home. So obviously I want to pick a programme that is both going to challenge me, includes material that I've done before that won't take too much work, and also allow me to balance practicing and feeling like I'm testing myself and learning something new. I always like to add something new into a programme, so we're going to have a look at some options. So the lady organising the concert knows a bit about me, and I've played at these concerts in the past before, so also knows that I do a lot of Queen things, and obviously if you've been following my channel you know that I'm also Mr. Mercury sometimes on a weekend. And she asked if I could do something Queen related. Now I have in the past performed an amazing Queen medley on the piano called the Queen Rhapsody, arranged by somebody online. Unfortunately I've lost that music and I'm unable to find it on the internet to buy and download again. So I need to think about if it's possible to find another arrangement, which I'm going to look into after today. But yeah. So if you hear any banging, by the way, when I was brought down to this room, I actually walked through the Steinway workshop, which just looks incredible. So one of the things that I was looking at in terms of a new piece is one that I found a while ago but never learned and would love to, and it incorporates Sweet Child of Mine in one hand with Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal in the other. This piece, the Sweet Child of Mine in one hand with, sorry, it's not Smooth Criminal, it's Black or White by Michael Jackson. It's one of those things where it's like patting your head and rubbing your stomach at the same time, which always takes ages when you're a kid to do, but once you've mastered it, it's easy. So we've kind of got this going on in the right hand, the iconic intro. While the left hand then comes in. And although very simple by themselves, just see what happens when I attempt to do them together. One hand stops or the other hand stops. I don't quite get them both together. So this is going to be on my list of things to put a lot of time into. When thinking about starting a programme, I like to either start with something short that's not too difficult, because this is the point of the performance where I'm always most nervous. You just need something to settle the nerves. Something short gets you warmed up, because I'll be in a situation where there isn't a piano backstage to warm up on. So I need to have a little think about either something short or just something that I'm really familiar with. But in the words of Freddie Mercury, you've got to start it off with a bang. So I'm thinking that quite possibly this Sweet Child of Mine and Black or White would be a good one to start with. The other thing that I've got to think about whilst I'm arranging this programme is thinking about the timing as well. So the biggest one that I'm going to need to get the timing for is the sonata. And the sonata that I'm looking at performing is Beethoven's Pathetique. I like doing a sonata, particularly in a longer recital, because it fills up, firstly, a lot of time, but also within the sonata itself, there's a lot of differences in kind of style, speed. So this one is very, very dramatic in the first movement, and it's got a gorgeous, beautiful, slow movement, which I absolutely adore. And it also has a nice, quick ending. So this is the kind of opening of this one. And then after a few bars of that, we get... and it goes backwards and forwards between that. The middle movement, which is probably one of my favourite kind of Beethoven slow movements, goes like this. Which is also a nice break from playing all the manic, fast music. And then finally it finishes with a rondo again, which repeats the main theme over and over again, but I love this one. And although I am familiar with it and I have performed it before, as you can hear, there were still a couple of little mistakes in there. So that's going to be the bulk of the programme. Which I'm going to play all the way through, no matter what happens now. I'm going to time it to see how much of the programme that's going to fill up. Okay, so I've played all the way through the Beethoven, and I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed about the fact that it only lasts 16 minutes. So what I'm doing now is, as I would do when deciding any recital, is I would mark down how many minutes the piece is. So this one's obviously not going to fill up quite as much as I would have liked, but I also note anything that I'm going to need to work on. And although there are things here and there that need working on with this piece, I'm fairly happy, so this one's just going to get a thumbs up. So when I'm deciding how to use my time in terms of practicing, when I've only a limited amount of time, I'll refer to this so I know what to spend my time on. I don't know if you can hear somebody else practicing in another room, but I must admit it is something that I miss from being in the environment of music school, having a cacophony of people practicing incredible pieces around you. So I'm really enjoying listening to other people as well as getting to do my own thing. So obviously with the Beethoven only being 16 minutes, I need to look at something else that's substantial, that's going to fill some of this time up, because 16 minutes out of 40 isn't much. We can take off 2 or 3 minutes, I think, and call it about 36, 37 maybe, just to allow for, hopefully, some applause in between the pieces. But obviously the Beethoven just runs straight through without any of that. So the other piece that I'm looking at is a piece I've performed before, but it does always take some work, and that is a piece by Liszt Un Sospiro, and this is one that I learned with an old teacher of mine, Christine Brown, and a piece that I connect with her and I'm very fond of because of that. So I'm going to have a little time with that now. Okay, so that was the list, which has given me 6.5 minutes, taking us to 22.5 minutes. So we'll call that 24 up until this point. So we kind of got half of the recital. In terms of that list, it is something that I have performed recently, but it's always one of those pieces that does need a bit of time and attention, because it's the kind of piece that I'm somebody who struggles playing from memory, but this piece very much requires you not looking at the music for large portions of the time that you're playing. And you need to just know it in your fingers. You need to have the muscle memory to be able to play large parts of it, so you can literally focus on what you're doing with your fingers, because they're whizzing about all over the place. So that is going to go in the category of give it a little bit of time, but I don't think it's going to be the piece that needs the most amount of time. So considering that I've only got half the programme so far, that's without including Sweet Child of Mine, but I think that's only going to be about 3 minutes. Another piece that I've always wanted to perform, and the danger of putting something like this in, is that I know I've got about 4 weeks to play something and learn something that I know is really, really difficult. So I've got to have the motivation to challenge myself to put the practice in to do this, is Chopin's Polonaise Opus 53. It gets used an awful lot on films, particularly ones about pianists. So I'm not going to be able to play it through to get timing, so I've already looked on YouTube to see that the average timing for this piece is around about the 7-minute mark, which takes us to about 30 minutes without Sweet Child of Mine. So we'll say 33, 34, add a bit of clapping to 35. So then with the Beethoven, Liszt, Chopin and Sweet Child of Mine, I'm still going to need at least another piece of music. Something that I would like to do is an Adagio and Rondo by Mendelssohn, although I feel it's going to be too similar to things like the Liszt and the Chopin. It's all very kind of romantic. So what I might do is put in a couple of short pieces by the composer Michael Nyman, which he wrote for the film The Piano, called The Heart Asks for Pleasure First and Big My Secret. So together they'll amount to about 7 minutes, and then we're pushing on for about 40 minutes. If I can find a decent arrangement of a Queen piece, then I'll have the time to add that in, but if not, I'll try and milk the in-between bits of pieces to make it last the amount of time that I need. So just to give you an idea, this is the Chopin Polonaise that I'm looking at doing. I can play about a page of it, and there are a lot. starts getting difficult. And then the kind of well-known part of the piece is the... And as you can see from there, it starts going a bit dodgy. So I think I'll do another video about finalising the programme, which will be much shorter than this one, but I'm going to need to give this some time to see if it's going to be viable or not to do. So I'm going to give that a bit of practice now. So thank you for watching this video. If you've watched it to the end, amazing, thank you so much. Please do consider subscribing and giving the video a like. It makes a huge difference in how the algorithm, whatever that is and however that works, pushes the videos to other like-minded people and helps the channel grow, so I would really appreciate that. So all that's left for me to do really is to spend some time on the Chopin, try and look for a Queen medley and see if I'm going to be able to put these pieces together, and if not, I'm going to have to think about some other pieces to put in instead. But ultimately I'm going to be recording the concert, so hopefully you'll be able to see the result of 4 weeks hard practice. Another question being, how many hours practice does it take me to prepare for a recital? Thanks for watching, guys.